5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We about to have a blast today.
Hello, all you happy people.
Let's do a junkie roll call.
Sound off like you got a pair.
The great Dadakuji.
What country you from? What ain't no country I ever heard of?
She probably still got an old school TV.
Why do you say this to me?
I'm the only girl, so I wanted to do anything that my brothers were doing.
Oh, yeah, you blend. She's cute too, huh?
Indeed!
That's fine. Just give us a second.
She with you?
The film was just lazy. Like I said, they like vision.
But you got to have vision.
I'm a big JRPG person.
We've just lost half the audience.
Supposed to be full. Oh, why?
But he'd have to be fast. I'm your man. No, you're not. You're too slow.
It ain't just about being fast.
I did not see one Asian in that movie.
Let's not stand on ceremony here.
It's a business. Who cares about the people's feelings?
Aim for the bushes.
I could do this all day. I got big boy pants on!
What's going on there in Junkie Land? It's Kenshiro, and we're back with Culture Junkies Live. It's Wednesday. It's day 2 of E3, but we kind of want to rewind back now that Nintendo and all the keynote conferences are over. We kind of want to recap and see who exactly won the keynote conference award this year at E3, and we also kind of want to talk about what are the biggest surprises and biggest disappointments. So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce, do a quick junkie roll call. First up, we got Mr. GQ. What's up, man?
Not much. I'm here, and you guys are thankful and grateful for it.
Right, exactly. We got Josh L. What's going on, Josh?
Not much. I appreciate you guys having me on, as usual.
As usual. We got Sev. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, people?
Hey, we got the great Dadakuji. What's up, brother?
Yeah, I kind of almost forgot about doing a show. I got kind of lost playing that Resident Evil.
Okay. Moving right along. Krusty will be joining us in a little while. She's got some important questions to ask. Obviously, we want to hear from you guys as well. So if you want to join the show, find GQ. He's going to be monitoring Facebook. We got Dadakuji over there on YouTube. And hopefully Josh L will check in on Twitch as well. So let's get right to it, guys. All the keynotes conferences are over. All the Microsoft had their time, Bethesda had their time, Ubisoft had their time, Nintendo, Sony. Who did you guys think won the E3 conferences this year?
The consumers won.
Oh, the consumers won. You're gonna have to elaborate a little bit.
Okay, well, here's the thing. If you are looking at the PlayStation 4, and I'm pretty sure Sony has something that tickles your fancy and whatnot, you're gonna go out and buy a PlayStation 4. That's actually what I did. I plunked down the cash. I finally decided to go ahead and.
Oh my gosh! No, you did? You did?
Yeah, man. I did. I'm still a bit of a PC snob, but you know, I'm. Sony had some stuff that tickled my ear. Plus, I bought some Sony games on Amazon that I wanted to play a while back, but I just said, forget it. I'll just go ahead and just get it. So that's what I did. And if you are an Xbox, person, and if they have something to your fancy, that's what. So like. The consumers won. If you were looking at a console waiting on the side, the consumers won, except for maybe if you were a Nintendo fanboy. Or if you're just really into Nintendo and think that they can do no wrong, then they also won. So, drinks all around for everybody.
Right. Gokai Red is checking in on Twitch. He says Sony won. Josh L., what do you think? Who won E3 this year?
Say it again.
I said, Josh L., who won E3 this year?
I'm sorry, you glitched out a little bit. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to follow a ton of stuff that's going on. But I agree with Sev. It's the consumers as usual. I mean, they're typically the winners. As far as who actually is winning the race. So I mean, if you're a Sony fan, you've got the Neo coming up. If you're an Xbox fan, you've got the S coming up. If you're a Nintendo fan, yeah, you have less. But I would say, although I found the Link, or rather the Zelda game, a little bit lackluster in terms of graphical content, it looks like it would be a fun game. Not
unlike something.
I mean, I Wind Waker. It reminds me, which isn't the best thing in the world, but Wind Waker was a really fun game that people really bashed before it came out, and I think then people played it. They said, okay, this kind of has the spirit of a Zelda game that I like, even though it has a little bit of a more cartoony feel. I would have preferred the realism, but pretty much everybody I know who likes The Legend of Zelda seemed excited that the game was coming out, that we're going to finally get a big full Zelda game. So again, the consumers won. I think that they had a little bit of everything for everybody. I don't know why everyone seems to be going so VR crazy. That's kind of making me a little ill, but I don't know. I'll leave that to you guys to decide whether that's a good thing or bad.
All right, Dado, who do you think won E3 this year, my friend?
I'm sorry, man. I could care less who the fuck won, man, because like everybody else been saying, and Sev usually is on the other side of the river when it comes to like stuff, because I'm usually the one that says the consumers won, because I don't work for Sony, I don't work for Microsoft, I don't give a shit. See that Microsoft game? See this? Even though it's old Sony game, I buy them, I win. So I won.
See, this is an example of someone not playing along, playing with the game, and just really just saying,
hey, look,
who was the best, and all
if
this
you
other
play
kind of
with
stuff.
the game, I'm like, oh, Sony won. Sony's the best. And you see, this is Sony's asshole. I mean, I don't care.
I asked just a simple question. Who had the better presentation?
Care. It's like I buy this stuff
because
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, but who wowed you more? Who wowed you more?
Huh?
Who wowed you more?
Okay, that's a better question. Who wowed me more? Sony wowed me more because.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Because of the exclusive titles that I saw. I saw the God of War, which could be 4, not 4, which looks enticing. I saw Horizon. Horizon, was it Beyond Dawn or something like that? That looks great. I saw Last Guardian, which I'm a fan of the Eco, whatever you want to call it. And I own Shadows of Colossus, but I haven't played it. You know the story already. I liked Ico, and I did play Ico, and I beat that game, and it was great. I saw, just recently, I saw Yakuza 0. I didn't know Yakuza 0 was going to come out in the United States, and they had an interview with the creator of it, and it's coming out over here. So I like the Yakuza series, and the Yakuza series has only been on the PlayStation. Since PlayStation 2, you only can play Yakuza. So who wowed me more? Sony. Who won? I did.
Thank you very much. GQ, please do play along. Who wowed you more? And I almost already know where this is going, so I really shouldn't be surprised. But please do tell us who wowed you more.
Well, as far as if you want to put it in terms of who wowed me, I'm going to take something that Dadakuji said earlier today. Microsoft wowed me in the fact that they don't want to sell any Xboxes this year. I mean, just the sheer fact that they made an announcement that yes, they have excuse me, the Xbox S or Slim or whatever you want to call it, possibly 4K gaming. We don't know. Definitely going to have 4K Blu-ray playback. But just the fact that yes, that's coming out this year. But oh yeah, guess what? The more powerful killer system comes next November. But just in case you have a PC that's Windows 10 compatible, you can avoid buying an Xbox again and play your Xbox games on your Windows PC. So I'm just like, dude, do you guys just not like selling your system? Because I was very much ready to not join the camp, but to purchase an Xbox One before the end of this year. But now that they've made all these announcements, I can just wait till next year. So you just lost my money. So, I mean, that was stupid on their part, in my opinion. Who won? Sony, in my opinion, won because, again, I'm getting the VR headset, so they've got a lot of stuff coming for VR that I'm kind of excited about. God of War is always going to be one of my franchises that I enjoy playing. I've platinum every single one so far, so I'm going to platinum this one too. And some of the other games I'm probably going to get into, but when Tekken 7 drops, you guys will not hear from me for at least.
Yeah, I kind of feel you on that. Tekken 7 is going to be the truth.
Yeah,
Yes,
but Nintendo, like we were saying in the pre-show, Nintendo shouldn't have even showed up. They showed Zelda and like one other DS game or something, and it's just like nothing on your new system that's supposed to be so powerful and supposed to bring you back into the fold and you're supposed to be competitive again. Nothing about that system at all. It's like, really? That's dumb. And then to Josh's point, Yes, this Zelda looks like it could probably be fun, but I'm sorry. The Wii's tech demo from 3 years ago is the Zelda we should have had by now.
My man.
And for them to not even have got to that point yet, I'm like, you guys need to stop. Games definitely need to be fun, but at the same time, Nintendo needs to understand that graphics still bring people into games. And graphics do matter, regardless of the fact that all these systems are basically PCs in disguise. Graphics matter. I'm sorry, like you when you play Street Fighter V for the first time, you looked at it like, wow, that game looks way better than 4, and it's fun to play and blah blah blah. But let's just be real. Back in the day, graphics were like the end all be all. Nowadays, not so much. But I'm sorry, Nintendo is sitting back like almost 2 generations back with some of their graphics and some of their games, and even the gameplay isn't that great. So they need to. I'm sorry, they need to bring graphics up and gameplay up at the same time. That'll put Nintendo back into the race. But for right now, they've been lapped a couple times already.
I like the way you said that, and it got laughed a couple of times. But real quick, guys.
I gotta say hello to Mr. Miles Van Meter in the chat. He agrees with some of you guys. He says we won E3. The competition is great, and so it's kind of like movies now. So that's pretty cool.
Hey Miles, how you doing? Thanks for joining the show. Real quick, I'm gonna bring in Krusty. She finally joined the show. And those of you that don't know, she's kind of carrying Khan Noonien Singh in her belly, so she's got to take it easy. But she's got this really cool shirt. What does it say there, Krusty? Let me see it. Let me see it.
Cool story, bro.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. So, you've been kind of paying attention a little bit to E3. So, who do you think wowed you the most? But who do you think wowed you the most? I mean, I know you have a Nintendo slant, I want to say. Were you impressed with some of the stuff that Nintendo showed?
Someone told me that Seth told me that they did something for Pokemon Go. So that's pretty neat.
Okay.
That's all I have.
That's all you have. Okay.
I'm
Insightful as
excited
always.
for Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay. All right. That's good. So overall, would you say that Nintendo didn't wow you? That Sony was better, Microsoft was better? Like just from what you've seen and what they presented. What I know you haven't really been paying attention, but who do you think really got it this year?
I heard everybody talking about Sony, so I think Sony did pretty well. The most things that I did hear about Microsoft was the Xbox thing. I was getting ready to buy an Xbox, and now there's really no point for me to do that. So I think Sony probably did pretty well based on rumors.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So all right, guys. So let's move on. We know that it's pretty much consensus that okay, yes, we as the consumers, we won E3. We win E3 every single year. It's a given. But what was the biggest surprise announcement and biggest disappointment that you guys have seen or heard about this year? GQ, let's start with you.
Wait, repeat it real quick.
I said, what was the biggest surprise you've seen, and what's the biggest disappointment that you've seen?
Biggest surprise so far was God of War. God of War, for sure, was a surprise. I didn't expect that one to just pop up. Even the fan reaction when Kratos stepped out of the shadows and revealed that it was Kratos talking to the little kid, that was just cool. Biggest disappointment again, Nintendo. I mean, yes, I don't have a Wii U. I'll probably get one once they lower the price to about $50. But I'm sorry, just seeing that they still don't get that. Hey, adult Link looking, very much like the Link of all the drawings and things that we've seen over all these years would make a great game. I'm tired of Kid Link. I'm tired of, silly,
cartoony Link.
It's like, dude, we've had decades of that now. Can we finally get, Link the way that he's been drawn and the way that you guys teased in that tech demo 3 years ago? So, yeah, Nintendo's been a very big disappointment, and it's a shame because they used to be the gods of gaming, and now they suck.
Okay, Sev, biggest surprise, biggest disappointment.
Okay, my biggest disappointment was that the Okama Games Fair was not announced again this year. I don't know what's the holdup with that system. It's probably never gonna come out. Actually, no. My biggest disappointment, I want to say Ubisoft, but they disappoint me every year, so that's to be expected. So I'm not gonna put them in the category. It was Nintendo. Like we all said earlier in the pre-show, was that they should have just stayed home. If you only have two playable games from what I saw, and the third one being a showcase of something on your mobile app program system and whatnot, and then a few trailers for some upcoming DS games. It's like, look, y'all could have just pre-recorded this in your studio back at Nintendo headquarters and showed it on your YouTube channel. And instead of, because like the little floor space that they rented out was actually pretty cool looking. They had like trees and like the whole Zelda thing. I'm like, y'all could have just saved all that money and just put it towards the development of games and the NX or whatever. Now, it was a waste of money. They should have stayed home. Biggest surprise was the announcement of that they are releasing a remastered Skyrim. Now, I think this is a win-win situation across the board, because when Skyrim came out, it really ran like crap on the PS3, and even after all the DLCs and all the updates, now they just couldn't quite get the game to run right. They're re-releasing it on the Xbox One, PC, and PlayStation 4, and it's going to be using 64-bit architecture, not 32-bit, which I think is the reason why it ran like crap. Plus, the console versions are going to have mods, which is great, and I think they're taking some of the ENB mods that were popular on PC, and they're using it to spruce up the graphics a bit and whatnot. A lot of people love Skyrim. I got like over 200 hours in that game and whatnot, so that was actually a big surprise for me. I'm a big Skyrim fan, and I will probably buy the game all over again. So there's a few more things, but you guys can come back to me and whatnot. Oh yeah, the whole Gwent thing. It was a card game that was in The Witcher 3, and I kind of wasn't into it first, but once I got to playing it, like, it's just a really good addictive card game, and they're actually making that its own solo game and whatnot. I know I'm like really stoked about a freaking card game, but Gwent was like really good. So I think it comes out November or something like that, but I'll be on board for Gwent because Gwent was awesome. So yeah, that's all I got to say right now.
All right, let me break in for just a quick second. Capria Brown is in the chat. She was saying that it might not be a huge deal to a lot of people, but she's super excited for Crash Bandicoot reboot, which I know her and Dadakuji are probably on the same page on that one.
Platformers, man.
Yep. And then secondly, we got Russell K. Ross in the chat. He asked basically something I'd already said before, but he was asking, what do we think about Microsoft basically telling you to buy an S system only to drop a super upgraded system next year? And like I said earlier, you just tuned in. It's like they don't want you to buy an Xbox at all until next year, because for them to drop a slightly upgraded system this year, and then also let you know that, hey, next year in November we're going to have a super duper system that makes this one obsolete, along with the original one obsolete. So it's just like, why bother?
Right.
So
exactly.
Let me add on to that too. Is that I agree with you. Is that so? Because once the Scorpio or whatever they finalize name will come out or not, they're probably going to continue supporting the Xbox One for maybe like another year or two. Once developers really start getting to the hardware of the Scorpio and figuring out how it works and whatnot, the old Xbox One is going to get phased out. So eventually, you're either going to be left in the dirt, or you're going to have to be forced to buy the new console and whatnot. And if you already have a gaming PC, then you can just go to the Windows 10 App Store and just buy the games and whatnot. It's like their strategy thing is they should have just kept their mouth shut about the Scorpio and just focused on pushing the current system and the upcoming Xbox S.
That would have been a horrible idea, though.
I think they should have.
I think they should
not even come out with the S.
Exactly. Like they would have shot themselves in the foot, the face, and the throat if they would have did that, because consumers would have lit them up. Like, hold on, I just bought an upgraded Xbox, and now you got this super more powerful Xbox coming. If they would have literally dropped them like without letting you know, dude, people would crucify them. Like they'd be burning Bill Gates' effigy all over the world, even though he didn't even work there anymore. Like, so I mean, it would have just been a bad bit of business if they would have went that route, in my opinion. But as far the funny thing is, I just love the fact that you haven't heard one thing about the Kinect in how many years? At least a year and a half now.
Dude, that shit is dead, bruh.
was so integrated into the Xbox experience. Now, granted, Josh says he uses it for other purposes. That's cool. I'm not going to get into that. But the fact that they made it seem as the fact that they tried to make it seem as if you didn't have the Kinect, then your Xbox One experience is going to be just garbage. And then 6 months later, they released a whole new SKU with no Kinect at all. So it's just like, can we make up our minds here?
Well, here's the weird thing. The Xbox S, it does have, you have to buy a separate adapter if you want to use the Kinect with it.
Yeah.
Really?
I know, right? Yeah, exactly.
So now we're back to the exact opposite, because remember when the Xbox Kinect first came out, you needed a separate adapter to get your old 360 to work with it. Now it's the new Xbox doesn't work with the old Kinect, which is only really technically not even an old Kinect. It's from this same generation. This is ridiculous. They need to stop it.
I don't even pay attention to the Kinect. It doesn't exist to me. I bought an Xbox One specifically for its exclusives, and kind of like what everybody's saying already, that you really don't. I mean, the way they're making it sound, even though what is supposedly rumored is going to be the most powerful of the new upgrades of the systems or whatnot, and who knows? Maybe they're going to stick a NVIDIA 1080 in that thing and make it cheap. Who knows? I don't know, but I don't really care. But I think Sony, like saying everybody, they should have just kept their mouth shut, or they should have just axed the S, or they should have just made the S the upgraded beef one and not brought it out this year, not next year. Who knows? I don't really know. I do know that Kabia Brown in the chat was talking about asking if they announced any RPGs, and Square Enix is going back to their roots with a game called I Am Setsuna, and it looks like a RPG of old with super deformed characters, airships, and all that other good stuff. And it might be fun. I don't recall what system it's supposed to be on, but I did see a video for it, and that looks kind of interesting. And then I think Nintendo, didn't they talk about a new IP today? It's called like something Oasis. I don't know.
Yeah. That was their new RPG they got coming out for the DS. I think it's called like Save Oasis or Desert Oasis or Sea Oasis. Like Oasis is in there though. I do know that.
Okay, but here's the thing: as much as yes, the DS sells, it's still the best-selling handheld system. That's great. They still have a console out there. Can we get some console games announced? This is ridiculous.
Exactly.
I get it, the handheld market is booming for them. That's cool. Your new IPs need to hit both the handhelds and the consoles. That's why the Wii U is dead, because you weren't bringing out anything for the Wii U. You have absolutely zero third-party support, so what do you expect?
Exactly. The Vita is dead, Hand of Omega.
Completely dead.
Yeah, the Vita
died a long time ago. They're not doing anything for you. See, my Vita is sitting up here on the shelf. And it's dead. I can't turn it on. So it's dead. Because when they killed it, they killed all the Vitas, so no longer you can't play them anymore.
All right. Real quick on Twitch, Dead MK45 had something that I want Sev to address. He said in there, here's my only problem I have is Blizzard. By the time they make a new game, it's already made like 3 or 2 million copies of that game, and my best surprise was what Sev said. It's the remastered Skyrim, but the new Tekken though with Akuma is also pretty tight. It's a surprise to the roster since he's in the Street Fighter series. So what do you guys think about Akuma being in Tekken 7? To me, that's a humongous draw. I can't wait.
It actually makes sense. Like I told y'all before this a while ago, like Combo Breaker video game tournament went down a few weeks ago and whatnot, and they actually had Tekken 7. It's funny, Tekken 7 they had it playable on the PlayStation 4 and whatnot. They had a full-blown tournament and whatnot. Most of the characters were already unlocked and whatnot. Game looks absolutely gorgeous, and the way that they integrated Akuma into the game as a playable character actually makes sense. Oddly enough, from what they showed the Xbox version, but they only had like a small portion of the story mode playable. So I'm getting from that I think that they're gonna kind of tailor the game more towards the PS4 instead of the Xbox and whatnot. I don't know why, but it's just, I mean, it looks great on the PlayStation 4 though. I mean, I think the guy who actually made it to the semifinals actually was using Akuma, and like his entire skill set is in there and whatnot, and the way they made him like play as a Tekken fighter is just brilliant. Like this is what that whole, what was that, Tekken Cross Street Fighter Cross?
Yeah. It's supposed to come out years ago, supposedly, and they're still working on it.
Please, that game will never come out. I think this is it.
I think it is. I mean, because look, if Tekken 7, I think they were trying to work out how can they put the Street Fighter characters in Tekken. I'm pretty sure that they had to sit down and think about this. And now that Akuma's in Street Fighter or in Tekken 7, I'm pretty sure that they figured it out, and they're gonna put everybody else into. They're gonna make a Tekken Cross. Street Fighter.
Hold on, real quick. Was that a Donkey Kong ringtone I heard for your text message?
Yeah, I heard somebody with that.
That was me, and yes, it was.
That's pretty dope, man. Go ahead,
Old
Seth.
school.
Yeah, that's pretty dope, man.
What did my man mean about the whole Blizzard Games thing? What did he mean by that?
I'm not exactly sure. I might have to ask him to kind of clarify that statement. I'm not exactly sure what he meant by that.
Okay.
But let's move on to Josh. We haven't heard from him in a while. Exactly what to you, Josh, from what you read, the little bit of stuff that you read, what was your biggest surprise and disappointment from E3 this year?
I actually agree with a lot of what Chris said. The whole idea that Nintendo, and Seth said it as well, the fact that Nintendo is not talking about the NX is definitely a concern. I get that they're trying to push, a new IP for their handheld, but the fact of the matter is that if they're not bringing the heat for a new console, bringing a reason for people to buy a new console, they're going to be left in the dirt, and then they're only going to be making games in the future. That's going to happen for Nintendo. I'm surprised it really hasn't happened already, or they haven't really just become a handheld, game maker and a hardware maker. If they think they're going to compete in the console genre, they need to step up their game. As far as surprises, though, I mean, the new IP was a surprise. I have something Oasis. But, I disagree with Sev on the Skyrim thing. I love me some Skyrim. I mean, Bethesda can do no wrong as far as quality gaming's concerned, but I've just really got burned on this whole HD remake of every friggin' game that ever...
Hey, we can't.
I only laugh because you're right, Josh.
He's absolutely right.
It's just crazy.
Everything they're remaking HD is a game that's already in HD, and they're remaking HD.
I mean, you name a popular IP from the last console generation, and I almost bet you dollars to donuts every single time there will be an HD version of it already. If there isn't, there is one in development. But
hold on, Mega Man has escaped that. Mega Man has not been done as an HD remake.
What are you talking about? There's an HD, and not like a remake. But Mega Man Legacy is an HD.
Yeah, Mega Man.
I'm talking about Mega Man. Period.
The original Mega Man.
They haven't. The only revamp that's ever happened to that is Powered Up for the.
You mean this
PSP.
Mega Man Legacy for PlayStation 4?
That's not an HD upgrade though.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna tell you how it's HD upgrade because
Thank
the
you for
NES
the follow.
Cannot do. Thank you for the follow. NES could not do HD at all, right? This right here is in HD. This is an HD game. Now, granted, what you mean is not remade graphics at all. They just took the Nintendo stuff and they upscaled it to HD, but it's an HD game, dude.
Again, that's what I'm talking about, though. I'm talking about a remake in the sense of, like, going back, like Powered Up was. Powered Up was a remake that changed the graphics around and made it better.
I get what you're saying,
but hey, I also had bad news for you. Bandai Namco actually said that Tekken Cross Street Fighter is no longer in active development.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That is not coming out. I thought so.
When they say that?
It's been this week, right?
Katsuhiro Harado said it. He's the Tekken game director, and he said that.
Oh, that butt monkey!
Not gonna happen. It was
that butt monkey. He said.
Well, there's an article about it on GameSpot. So
great.
Yeah,
he's a booty nugget.
he's a booty nugget.
What?
Okay, bruh, whatever.
Right now,
Okay.
hey, I will say this:
Isn't that what
in terms
Crystal
of
says?
you guys were
No, he
talking
says she
about.
says boo boo crumbs.
I
You guys
never
were talking
said
about
booty nugget.
the consoles for Microsoft, and whereas I kind of understand what you're saying, I get what they're trying to do in the market. Now, as far as hey, they don't want people to buy a console this year. It's definitely humorous, and there's probably some legitimacy to it. But the other thing is that it's no different than the PlayStation 4's Neo, right? I'm not going to not necessarily go buy a PlayStation 4 right now if I really, really wanted one. I don't desperately need one right now, so I'm going to wait till the Neo comes out. I mean, it's me personally, but there are people who are going to buy one now, and then they're going to go, oh, the Neo? Oh, it's better? Oh, man, I shouldn't have bought it. But I think that what they're trying to do is they've got essentially the exact same games for all of the consoles, the regular Xbox One, the Xbox One. But what's going to happen is it's basically going to be like a decent PC, a higher end PC, and the highest end PC. And they're going to
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think all they're trying to do is they're trying to market themselves to multiple markets. If you love console gaming, you're not down with console gaming. Like me personally, and I'm not opposed to console game or to PC gaming, but I'm just more of a console gamer, and I always have been. But hey, I want to play it in 4K. I want to play HDR 4K games. Yeah, I might get the Scorpio version. But if I'm also not just balls deep in cash, maybe I get the cheaper one.
No, I completely get that, but again, in your parallel to the PS4 and the PS4 Neo and then the Xbox situation is close. The problem with that is it's not like Sony is saying, here's the Neo, but guess what? Neo Unlocked comes next year. It literally is, here's the Neo, here's the 4, this is what we're going to have. Microsoft is taking it a step further. It's just like, here's the S, and then here's the Scorpio, but you're in between because it's like, again, if the S and the Scorpio came out on the same day and you literally had that choice, perfect, because it literally becomes the good, better, best, scenario. But this is literally saying, here's a little bit better, but guess what? Best is down the line, and it's going to blow this completely out of the water. So I mean, it's kind of like it's an odd spot to be in. That's why, like I said, with the Neo, yes, people are going to, some people are going to not know about the Neo coming out, and they're going to buy a PS4, and then boom, here comes the Neo, later this year or whatever it's going to drop. At least, it's like Microsoft is just outright telling you, this is a good, here's an upgrade, but a way better upgrade is a little bit further down the road, and it's coming, and it's going to be here. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just odd to me. That's the first time in gaming history it's ever happened that way.
Right. I mean, I'll be honest. The whole thing is really, really weird with both the combination of the Xbox, the Xbox One, Xbox 1.5, Xbox 1.8. I have. It's such a confusing thing. And then the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 4 Neo. This is the first console generation where, aside from having just basically a slimmed-down version of a console, they're adding features that did not exist in the previous version of the console. That's never happened.
Would you like to know why?
Well, no, hold on real quick.
They were rushed. That's why. All the PlayStation 4 and the One were just rushed.
Well, yeah, there's probably legitimacy there, Dino.
But before you said goes, but the closest we've ever had to that was the Nintendo 64 when they got the RAM chip upgrade. That was the close in North America. That was the closest that we've ever had to a quote-unquote system upgrade where like old stuff had problems, running on, new stuff had problems running on the old stuff.
Right. You couldn't play Perfect Dark without the upgrade.
Yeah, Perfect Dark was the very first one where it was like you just weren't going to be able to touch it at all. Like if you didn't have that RAM card or RAM, adapter plugged in, you were done. So I'm sorry, Sam. Go right ahead, sir.
It's yes, what Dido said, they were definitely rushed out. Last generation 360 PS3, 8 years was like the longest console span and whatnot. So like, hey, we gotta put something out. So these systems got pushed out. The Neo and the Scorpio should actually have been what we should have gotten, and not these more systems. And the reason why they went back to the drawing board is simply because of VR. For some reason, and I don't know why, VR is getting this huge push and whatnot, and they want to make sure that literally within like the next few years and whatnot, that they have consoles that are capable of pushing VR at 60 frames per second with absolutely zero hiccup. That's the only reason why the NX has delayed their release date, because they want to put VR capabilities into the Nintendo NX and whatnot. So that's the reason why you're seeing new consoles come out in such a short time span. This is like the first time this has ever happened. I mean, don't count anything Sega did. Sega was pumping them out like Prince albums, like every 6 months. It was like, you know, Genesis, Sega CD, Sega 32X, and it was just add-on after add-on after add-on. Man, I was like, I can't afford this, man.
Hey, there you go.
Where's the 32X add-on?
Well, it's on my other Sega CD, the Sega CD version 1, which is the Genesis one, Sega CD 1, 32X. That's out there. I got another one in that closet, but I'm not about to go.
He's got that big life support system hooked up out there, looking like Vader on steroids. We haven't heard from Krusty in a while now. I apologize for almost calling you Crunchy.
Crunchy is actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. I like that.
Yeah. James Pittian in the chat as well. He's a big fighting game guy. Comes out to our fight nights every now and again. So
now, I actually had a question. It was something I hadn't read. Is Resident Evil 7 going to be a PS4 exclusive?
I don't think so. They didn't say that.
No. They're kind of like marketing it towards the PS4. It's going to be out on all 3 platforms, but they're
I figured it was going to be multi-platform, but I was a little disappointed that the demo wasn't available for the Xbox One, but
it's because PlayStation is evil.
That's because you bought the wrong system.
Wait a minute. Now, wait. Now, are they evil, or are they just smart? You say it's a perspective, so.
Well, you also got to keep perspective that Capcom is a Japanese company, and the Japanese support their own.
That's true. That's very true. Very true.
Though. I played that demo and it was weak.
Really? I just want to know, did I beat it? Because I have no idea about beating it, and it kind of pisses me off. Is like you put in the tape, right, and you got to play through the tape, but you can't do like I got to the end, got out of the house, but the guy punched me in the face. So I don't know if I actually got out of the house or that's just the end of the demo.
Spoiler alert, that is the end of the demo.
Hey, it's a freaking demo. It's a goddamn demo. If you're going to get spoiled on the demo, all right, and we gonna have problems.
Who thought about the weirdness of Battlefield 1? Like, is that not as weird as the Xbox One? Like, who thought that title was a good idea?
The PR marketing guys over at EA did. You can thank them for that.
Yeah.
Wait, because is it like what's the one I have over there? Is that Battlefield 4?
Yeah.
For the PS4? Or
yep.
Yeah. So all of a sudden we're at Battlefield 1 again. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't get that. Battlefield World War I. That's what they should have called it.
Yeah. They should have called it that one. Now, like I said, it's the marketing guys over there. They ain't too bright.
They ain't too bright. No, they ain't too bright at all. But hey,
not to be my usual outside the box person self, but I'm waiting for a war game, like a World War II game that allows you to play the Allies.
As Hitler.
I'm tired of being the Allies. I'm tired of being the Allies.
They actually did that in one of the games though, where you could play Al Qaeda or something like that. And
it did not
of course,
go
people
over
in the
well.
It didn't go over
pissed.
too well. Yeah, it didn't go over
It
too well.
didn't go over well at all.
Stop. That's current modern day. You don't do.
It wasn't that long ago.
Dude,
Again,
they did this, and like they were talking about the troops that were already over there, and they, of course, they spend some of their time playing video games, and to find out that they're actually in it, and in the video game, it gave them the opportunity to go against them. It kind of pissed people off.
But that's what I'm saying. But again, that's the exact definition of too soon. I'm talking about something that happened before any of us were born. This is going back to World War II. None of us were alive during World War II.
Yeah, but what if my grandpop, who is shooting at Nazis in the middle of Germany in 1942, decides to pick up the next Battlefield game? He's gonna Come on, he's gonna play as the Axis. Come on.
Yeah, the Axis of evil. Yes, he will.
I didn't go to World War II, so you can play as the damn Nazis in your video games.
Dude, I'm sorry. Again, don't put any actual real people in it, with the exception of like major, military commanders and whatnot. But dude, I think again, why not? Because everybody always tells the story from their side. We've barely ever had any game that dares to jump to the opposite side. Because again, Germans sitting there at home, to them, we're the enemy.
Even the Germans, even the modern day Germans think the Nazis were the bad guys. I mean, let's be honest.
They know they was wrong.
Hold up. Let me bust in there real quick. We've reached about 2/3 of the show. I wanted to let everybody know that you do have the opportunity to join the show. See right here, right where my finger is. Hit us on either Facebook or on YouTube or on Twitter with the hashtag Junkies Talk. Let us know what you want to talk about. We'll hit you with a direct message and we'll try and get you on the show. Now, there are a couple things I want to bring up. Number one. Stacy D over in Twitch says, "I just want an HD and Frank RPG game. That'd be funny. Make it VR capable, and I'll be happy. You can do that. Just close your eyes. There you go. Yeah, yeah." I had a question. Yep.
Game, Battlefield, or Call of Duty. What do you guys think?
I think it's gonna end up being Battlefield. I mean, no, actually, I think it might be Call of Duty. That's just me.
As much, because remember when Battlefield 4 came out, and well, EA kind of botched the launch on that one. But as much as I don't care for EA, I still do have a little, spot in my heart for the Battlefield franchise because it's such this huge landscape. 32 on 32 battles and whatnot. Although I still got this strange inkling, man, that I don't know, man. Them Call of Duty fans is like rabbit wolves, man. I still think for some strange reason that Call of Duty is still gonna come out on top.
Yeah, I'm with Sev on this one. I agree. I think Call of Duty is gonna come out on top, but they got a absolutely rabid fan base. I mean, like I see people who like. I know it's kind of stereotypical to say like, oh, that doesn't look like the kind of guy who would be a gamer. That guy
got caught in the Matrix. Anyway.
Please fucking call about that. I was gonna say Call of Duty. Dude bros love their Call of Duty. That's all I gotta say.
Yes, they do.
Not to mention the fact that they are being hornswoggled into buying the game because the only way you can play Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered is if you buy Infinite Warfare. And people are literally going to buy Infinite Warfare just to play Call of Duty 4.
Yeah. I think I do believe that they will. That is absolutely correct. Yes, they will.
So just based off that, because I even talked to some people that was like, yeah, like Modern Warfare 4, I mean, that's one of the few Call of Duty games I actually played was the first Modern Warfare game. So, I mean, I know people that are literally buying Infinite. They're paying the full $80 premium price tag just to play Modern Warfare. So and the thing is, Activision is smart in doing that because they know if they bundle them separately, they will probably sell Modern Warfare Remastered more than Infinite Warfare. So hey, we gotta lure them in. So that's just my take on it. So.
Okay, hold on. Infinite Warfare this is the new space one?
Yes.
One?
Yes.
So are we playing with blasters now, or are we still shooting guns?
No, you're shooting guns on Earth and space bullets in space.
So
what is the space bullet?
So wait. So it's really like Starship Troopers then, right?
No, it's Moonraker.
Okay. All right.
Dude, this is ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Moonraker? You mean the best James Bond movie?
we already know how much you.
I will find out where you live and fight you.
Right, we already have it documented on game that you hate that movie, dude.
No, I know I hate that movie. I'm being very.
Yeah, sure. We know.
So hey, I know we touched on it earlier, but with the Skyrim HD. But what do you guys think is the reason that so many of these HD remasters are hitting? Do you think it's a lack of new IPs? Do you think it's a lack of? Yeah, I mean we're seeing a lot, at E3. That's one of the things that we're seeing. Even though we're getting sequels to games like God of War, and we're seeing a few new IPs. But is it lack of originality? Or are they suffering from the same thing that Hollywood's suffering from?
Yes, that is exactly what it is to me. They're suffering from what Hollywood's problem is.
No,
It's
almost.
Hold on, let me finish. It's the same. Because think about it this way. What's the one thing that we barely ever get year to year in the game industry and even in the movie industry? Brand new, super crazy new ideas and just, wow, never seen anything like this before. No, we get our Maddens every year. We get our Call of Duties every year. We had our Assassin's Creeds every year because franchises are the easiest thing to bank on because people are going to buy into it regardless of how much the last one sucked. They'll still buy in and go check it out and, hey, maybe they did improve this, and that, and the other. We don't get new IPs in gaming because it's too damn expensive. We barely get brand new movie franchises because it's too expensive. Why do you think we're getting all these comic book movies now? Why do you think Marvel is cranking them out like, cookie cutter clockwork? Because they know they're going to make money on them. Same thing with video games. God of War, it's already a known commodity. People love God of War, play God of War. If you suddenly try to come up with this brand new offshoot God of War-like game, it might fail, regardless of whether it's better than the original God of War games or not. It's the fact that there's no familiarity there. That's why we're getting Resident Evil 7. Street Fighter 5 came out. Tekken 7. You're getting a whole bunch of what is already an established property and what's already an established franchise that's going to sell. Now go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Now, while I agree with what you're saying, and I think it's not just because the familiarity of it, and that's something to do with it, and it's probably high up there. But it's kind of, and I agree with Russell K. Ross in the Facebook chat says they're scared to take a risk because a long time ago, NES, back in the 8-bit days, 16-bit days, it didn't cost so much to make a video game. I mean, granted, it cost to produce that cartridge, but the paying the programmers, the time frame on making the video games, they weren't that long. LGN. LGN kind of just pumped them out. But it's mainly because every video game is a multi-million-dollar game nowadays. They cannot afford to have it to fail at all. Like, how many people who have Xbox Ones has played Ori and the Blind Forest? This right here is an original IP. It's a good game. I have the digital copy. I needed a physical copy because, what happens if something happens to the digital. But regardless, it's a fantastic game. You don't hear much people talking about it because it's a new IP, and new IPs that does happen. They're afraid. I mean, Shenmue is the greatest example of the biggest failure financially, mind you, because all you Shenmue fans out there, don't try to crucify me because I love Shenmue, but the game failed to meet the money that was put into it. It was the most expensive game ever produced for the time, and it failed. And they see that. They don't want that to happen. Could you imagine if Gears of War failed? Like, Gears of War came out, and awesome. The exact same game, but nobody bought it.
Gears of War wasn't very successful.
Gears of War was very successful.
The previous one wasn't nearly as successful as, say, 3.
No, I'm talking about the first one when it first came out, because that's a new IP.
Yeah.
If it failed, all that money that they put into it, I'm like, shit.
Cliffy B would not be working in the industry any longer.
Exactly.
Cliffy B.
So, like, they just want shoe-in stuff, and that's why I'm so happy that you got these independent developers that are coming out, because it gives them an opportunity for us to see, some things that we normally wouldn't see, or, like, for example, and Kickstarter for that matter. I mean, Mighty Number 9, despite the fact it's taken forever to come out, we would have never seen that if we didn't have an independent developer and the Kickstarter. We got Bloodstain that's coming out by Igarashi, I think the guy's name is. Koji or Koga Igarashi. He is known for Symphony of Night, Castlevania Symphony of Night. And he's got his independent studio. He wants to do more of that stuff, but he can't use the Castlevania license. I mean, there's ways to get around it, but if you're a video game player, if you really like video games like me, like most of my friends, you got to look for that stuff and not buy the same things over and over again. It's like, yeah, you like them, so of course you're going to support them, but you got to support the other stuff. The Ori's and the Blind Forest is the Dust. If anybody played Dust, the Elysian Tale?
I killed that game. That game was awesome.
In later PlayStation 3, fucking phenomenal. One guy made that game.
But here's the thing with that, though. And again, I played Dust because it was free. A lot of those indie games get thrown into the PlayStation Plus thing, which again, I'm sure they get some type of kickback for it one way or the other. But the issue with that has always been, for me, it's like, yes, these indie games are great and those are new IPs and they're fun. But the problem is a lot of them are short, so that's a quick experience. So like, I'm not going to plunk down, like, for example, if let's say Dust and Elysian Tale came out at $50. I would have been mad if I'd have paid $50 for that, because that's like, as great as that game was, that's not a $50 game to me. A lot of these games, really, even some of the AAA titles, are not worth the price of admission. Because as you've noticed, Doom, that just came out, what, 2-3 weeks ago? I picked it up for like $40 the other day.
Yeah,
so,
drop
I
the
mean,
price.
Yeah, so it's like these price drops, like these games can't afford to do a lot of big risky maneuvers and whatnot when the game's essentially going to hit the bargain bin, within a month. So I mean, it's like they gotta bank on it. That's why the Grand Theft Autos are always heavy hitters, huge sales. But thankfully, Rockstar doesn't release one of those every year. At least they were smart enough to do that.
Speaking of Rockstar, I was thinking. Go ahead, Seth.
Just a quick question is that why is it that gaming companies outside of the indie developers feel that they gotta plunk down a boatload of cash to release these AAA titles? Like, you don't have to, like, you can still put out a good game and not have like hire celebrities to do the motion cap and whatnot. It's like, I don't know why it has shifted towards where it has to be this like Transformers budget for every single blockbuster game that comes out, man. It shows me that they truly it's like bigger, we gotta go bigger, It's like, you don't need all that. Honestly, the indie games to me is actually what's keeping gaming in general still interesting to me. Because a lot of these like they put up it's like copy paste.
Well, here's what it is though. The indie games are essentially gaming in the industry back in the Atari days. That's what it really was. It's like you had a whole bunch of independent developers doing their thing, and they came together, and then boom, we got the Atari and the gaming systems that we remember from our childhood. A lot of that indie development and that, bouncing around, different ideas and brainstorming and all that other stuff, unfortunately, is not the norm anymore. Yes, it's great that there's a lot of places that do it, but and I really you have to blame the fact that it's become this major conglomerate, massive billion-dollar industry that it's become. Everything now has to be bigger, 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 because guess what? People's attention spans are that long. You have basically no time to get them. So that's why you have celebrities coming in and doing mocap. And that's why, because full well, if a celebrity's doing mocap for a game, what's he going to do? He's going to tweet about it. And his Twitter people are going to get in on it. And hopefully you get some sales out of it. So, I mean, it's all become this big, huge mess of things.
Yeah,
and unfortunately,
it's a big machine.
Yeah, exactly. The intimate, small industry that we remember is gone. It's there kind of in memory and in this collection of indie developers trying to put out some of the classic type stuff. But dude, Madden is always going to outsell, regardless of the fact that it's the exact same freaking game year to year to year with a roster change. Madden is always going to outsell your indie games. I'm sorry, it's just it's one of those disgusting facts of the way the industry works.
Right.
Indie games.
Yeah, 100% right. Just because. Yeah. It's just that's what people want. I mean, there's a small niche of people who are there's so many people who can call themselves gamers nowadays, but then you got it's like people who watch movies. You got people who watch the big budget movies that come out, and then you got people who watch movies. They watch the bad movies, the good movies you ain't never heard of, foreign movies, Turkish Star Wars movies. You got people like that, and unfortunately, of course, the big name, they're just going to cater to the people that come to the big name budgets every Friday in the theater, all your Transformers, all your Marvel movies, all your Independence Days, and so forth. And that's where you're going to go get your money from. So, You know, you can always be any type of gamer you want. You can play everything if you have the initiative to go out and seek for some of the stuff. You don't have to play the new stuff. You could play old stuff. You can, I don't want to say that, but you could play mobile, or you can play the old stuff.
He subtly, quietly.
Right. He was just like, dude, like I don't even want to sell my hand this one. Right.
Yeah, when someone tells me they're a gamer and I'm like, yeah, what do you play? They're like, Clash of Clans. I'm just like, get out of my. Chris, you were mentioning Rockstar earlier.
Yep.
That was a superstar publisher. Did I go Matrix again? I'm sorry.
A little bit. No, you good. No, yeah, finish what you were saying now.
But Rockstar, they're a superstar publisher. They're one of the most successful gaming publishers that's out right now. And they had a new IP in L.A. Noire a few years back. It was a hugely expensive game. I think it was like $130 or $150 million budget, which was like absolutely the largest that they've ever had for a game. I loved the game. I thought it was fantastic. If you love noir, it was everything that you wanted in that game. There was a few things that weren't perfect about it, but it was a spectacularly made game. But it didn't do exceptionally well, and it's one of the reasons I don't think that we've seen a sequel. I'd like to know the numbers to see how much of a hit they actually took on it, but that's from the Kings of the Castle or the Kings of the Hill, who got knocked down because people were like, well, I don't know if I want to be a cop in the 1940s. I'd rather be a thug, in the 2016s and run around and steal cars and shoot people randomly if I feel like it.
Well, and again, and real quick, hello to Javon Ellis, who just joined the Facebook and looking at the show live. So hello to you. I think what you got with Rockstar in that sense is, like you said, yes, L.A. Noire. I'm trying to remember. It came out for the PS3 and the Xbox 360. I have it actually sitting over there. I think it came out right before Grand Theft Auto 4, or maybe just after. I don't remember exactly what the time frame was. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto. I mean, Rockstar, of course, is obviously known for Grand Theft Auto. That's their bread and butter in the sense of where they make the majority of their money in their fiscal year. It's hard for them to spin off of that because Grand Theft Auto was such a huge success in the sandbox style of gaming. But yes, you were basically playing a bad guy through the whole game. Like that, no matter how you slice it, you were the bad guy. So I think for them to suddenly try to switch it over to like being a cop in the 40s, and you're just like, you made me like Bugsy Siegel in a gangster in the 40s, and sure, I'd be all for it. And I think that's where a lot of people had that disconnect because they got so used to the Grand Theft Auto formula that it's just like all of a sudden, wait, hold on, you want me to be a cop, a gumshoe in the 40s? And I like the game. The game is fun, but it's just, I think that's kind of your issue there. It's like, even for Rockstar, L.A. Noire was kind of a risk because they had already become known as the Grand Theft Auto people. I mean, they literally, like, that's where they were at for a long, even when they had State of Emergency, when they tried to come out, follow up Grand Theft Auto 3 with State of Emergency. State of Emergency was fun, mindless mayhem, but it didn't sell as well because it wasn't that Grand Theft Auto formula.
And it was a terrible game.
Well, no, that too, but I'm just saying, it was for the mindless mayhem and fun, it was what it was. But Grand Theft Auto, it was too much of a game changer. It was just like, no, give us more Grand Theft Auto. And I think that's kind of why they had a problem. So, yeah, they.
I think that Rockstar, wanted to show that they could still develop new technology because their mocap face technology was brand new. It was groundbreaking in terms of the realism and whatnot. I mean, for a game that came out in 2011, which it came out after Grand Theft Auto 4, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where they just didn't nail that niche market, but I think that they were trying to show people, hey, not only can we bring out new technology and blow people away, maybe like we did when Grand Theft Auto 3 came out and changed the landscape for gaming for a long period of time, but do a more nuanced story-based game. I mean, granted, we've always got stories from the Grand Theft Auto games, but this was an in-depth story where we were seeing character development over a period of time. I think that was probably where they were trying to hit. and it didn't nail a home run. You know, it was maybe in the park triple. You know,
But here's the thing, though. I guarantee you, and I'm not saying this is the direct correlation, but I pretty much can say if that didn't come out, like, let's say Rockstar had, like, you know how like Disney used to have or still has Miramax, where like if they wanted to release something that was way off of the Disney path, it would come out under Miramax, like Pulp Fiction, another Disney movie. Dude, if Rockstar would have had something like that, where it's like we got this other, you know, operating name that we can go under, and boom, here's L.A. Noire, I think it would have just, you know, as great of a game as it was, it probably would have sold a little bit more, just not having that tie into, oh wait, it's going to be more Grand Theft Auto because you see that Rockstar logo.
Right.
Just
kind of like Ubisoft and Ubisoft Montreal. It's like, you know, they make great games, but they're not making the same games that Ubisoft proper is making. They're not making the same caliber necessarily.
Right. Right.
And that's a poor example.
It is a poor example. It is a poor example, but I will say that, I mean, you know, when people saw that, you know, this game was being made by Ubisoft Montreal, you said, okay, it's probably going to be pretty good, but it's probably not going to be the best. I'm just telling you. That's,
hey. Same thing with Batman Arkham Origins.
Right, exactly.
Arkham Origins was thankfully not made by, you know, the same team at Rocksteady, because people would have crucified them. But hold on. You just did what? This game is horrible. Glitchy, and then of course they still screwed the pooch with Arkham Knight anyway, so.
Yeah. You know what, guys? This has been a fantastic show. I've hardly been on, and you guys have just carried the whole show, so bravo to you guys. You did a fantastic job.
Well, that's why it's been
today.
fantastic, Ken.
Oh, wow. I mean, I literally walked right into that. Touche, Josh. Touche. I'll get you in the post, my friend. Anyway, guys, it's 11 o'clock. I don't know what we're going to talk about on Friday, but one of the things that I definitely would like to try and do is we were talking about doing a quiz or whatever to win a prize. I would like to try and do that next week, but obviously since E3 will probably be ending by Friday, we can finally like close out the end of the show, close out the week by talking about the end of E3. And I would like to pose a question that we kind of a little bit talked about briefly today, but maybe expound upon it. And the question would be, you know, has the internet ruined you know, conferences like E3 and WWDC and CES and stuff like that? You know, it just doesn't seem to be popping like it used to be. And so is it the internet and the leak spoiler culture that we live in, or is it just that the companies just don't step up their game anymore? So anyway, guys, don't talk about it now. We'll talk about it Friday. But
Okay.
Certainly, do come back and check us out. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch us live on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter as well, and also go to our YouTube channel and our Twitch channel and check out some of the previous vids that we've done before. Leave some comments and let us know what you think. Josh L, great job. GQ, great job. Sev, great job. Dadakuji, great job. Krusty, wherever the heck you are, great job to you as well. My name is Kenshiro. We'll see you guys on Friday. Say goodbye, everybody.
Make sure you join
Bye,
our
everybody.
Culture Junkies discussion group on Facebook as well. It's awesome.
Indeed. It is really on and popping over there. Yes, it is. So have a good night, everybody. We'll see you on Friday.
All right.
G-Night.